our hearts, Acts Ministry University. So if you guys are interested, you'll know a little bit more about it by the end of this show. So, without any further ado, here, I guess I better put their camera up there. I'm silly. Anyways, here they are. Go ahead, guys.
Okay, welcome to Acts Ministry University, and we're just so glad to have you. We are pleased to be able to use the Telethon to kind of reintroduce our university. It's not a new university. It's been around for 27 years. It's been inactive a lot of those years. And the really neat thing about Acts Ministry University is that it is able to be in 50 states. And our pastors who want to do weddings and that sort of thing, with an Acts Ministry certification, are able to go to any state in the union and preach and, and give instruction. Now, Acts Ministry University is at home here in Springfield, Missouri. And we are so excited about reintroducing Acts Ministry University that we are offering a very special, and we'll talk about this several times, courses, 7 different courses in which you can pick 6. And the price is only going to be $50 a course. And of course, you take the course, and there's a test, but it's really exciting. Now, we want to explain Acts Ministry University is about Acts Christian Training. Acts Christian Training, and that stands for ACTS. We offer a basic certificates in Christian education, and we offer advanced certificates in Christian education, and we offer an associate's degree in Christian education. And by the way, my name is Pam Whining, and I'm kind of the chief organizer here for Acts Christian Training. And this is Dr. Marty Hamilton, who's going to be the Director of Administration, and Pastor Marcia Holland, who is a pastor with Acts Ministry, and I think we'll be taking some of these courses, and you may be sharing some information as well. Now, Acts Ministry University is very special in that we aren't teaching algebra, we aren't teaching geometry, we aren't teaching robotics. We are teaching practical education for people who want to be pastors, who are pastors, who want to be educators in Christian education, on a level that people can understand. And when you take a course with us, we want you to feel like I can do what they were talking about.
Sure.
I can do it. I'm hands-on. So we're going to talk briefly about we offer educational courses. And I talked about basic certificates, advanced certificates, and the Associate of Arts degree in Christian education. And we will do online courses. Most of our courses will be on YouTube, and we will tell you where it is when you pay your $50. You view it. You can view it, 6, 7, 8 times. You can take notes on it. Then after you feel comfortable that you know the information, excuse me, and that you could do, let's just say it's on doing a funeral. And Dr. Hamilton may say, give you some test questions, and then he may say, I'd like for you to show me how you might perform a funeral. What would be the steps in it? Mm-hmm. So it's going to be actual hands-on. Now, we're doing this because we have many pastors with Acts Ministry, which you can imagine because it's a great organization with great certification throughout the whole United States and other countries. I won't go into that tonight, but so he'll be given the test, and once you get the test, you'll get a certification. Now, you'll get a certificate, and then you can take another course. Now, our special, as I said, is $50 a course. There's only 7 courses offered in this. You can pick your favorite 6, and you can start November 1st. I believe that's what we said, November 1st, and start taking your courses, and they have to be completed by December 31st this year because the prices will go up. But this really gives you a good feeling of how practical, how basic information that we want our pastors to have. some of our instructors, I want to talk about our instructors a little bit. We have Dr. Paul Collins, who has a doctorate in psychology and theology, which is a very unusual combination. He's been a practicing minister for numerous years and is presently acting as a minister at First Acts Church in Springfield. He is a fun radio personality and talk show host, and he's an instructor also with Acts Ministry University. And I think anybody who took a course from him would be you just have so much information you would know what to do with it. Dr. Marty Hamilton is an ongoing nursing home pastor. He's a hospice chaplain, and he's a minister in the Springfield area for over 20 years. Now, he currently is heading up Acts Ministry University as a director of administration. So he's the one that, makes sure all the courses are in line. He's the one you're going to go to get enrolled. If you have a question about a course, he'll be the one to talk to, or the instructor. And he will also be the one to give you a test, or somebody that you appoint to give the test.
Sure.
Okay. And all the tests generally will be given in Springfield, Missouri. Okay. Dennis Everson, who's a ongoing pastor for over 10 years in Humansville. He's an area expert on all kinds of books. He was a co-founder of Redeemed Books, and everybody in this area knows Redeemed Books.
Yes.
He no longer is with them, but he got started, and he just loves books, and we are so blessed at times that he brings books to our offices for us to peruse through and pick out our favorites. And so that's a real blessing there. He's also, you probably may have seen him on stage. I don't know about stage and screen. But he is a volunteer at Stained Glass Theater. So that's just a time-consuming occupation. And so we're blessed to have him. Dennis Code is a pastor out in Republic. He's pastor of the homeless and drug addiction ministry and prison rehabilitation ministry. And he has a world of information. If anybody knows a pastor or wants to be a pastor, you are probably going to get into that field whether you really like it or not.
Wide spreading, yes.
Yes. And it's very, people need it. So this is something that he will present a lot of common sense light on and help you with that, and be a long life probably person to call upon. He's also a popular radio host for Acts Television Network. Now, Bruce Pearson is an active nursing home minister and one of the leaders of the Veterans Church. If you ever watched the Veterans Church, he's one of the leaders there, and that's in Springfield, Missouri. He writes poetry in his spare time and is a humble servant of the Lord. He's also a good mechanic, I have to tell you that. He is. He's bailed a lot of us out on that situation. Randy Barr is a TV producer and director, writer in the Branson area. Randy has a special heart for mental illness. He writes lyrics to songs, well-known songs in his spare time, and he calls them parodies. You might know that name, that term. And he's currently producing a new series for Acts Television Network called Spirit of America. So you look forward to that series, which will be coming on soon. Matt Pearson is a popular radio TV producer of The Morning Drive. And if you've listened today at all, you've heard Matt in and out. And he's done this for 5+ years. Started in a garage with his cousin, Jason, and they do a wonderful job. He is a pastor, an active singer, songwriter in the Springfield area, and he regularly plays at various church services. So he's something you might want to keep in mind when you hear him play. Okay, I've talked to you. Okay, and Marty, I'd like for you to kind of go through our top 7 courses.
I can do that.
And talk about them, and kind of, I would like to make people to feel comfortable that you don't have to have, 50 hours of college education to apply.
Right.
So,
The first one here, she just talked about Dr. Paul Collins. And Dr. Paul is a wealth of information.
oh, yes.
I consider him my mentor.
Yes, all of our mentors,
Yeah.
yes.
And he's going to have a question and answer panel, and Virgil Hill and Tom Young, and then his wife's going to be on there too. That ought to be interesting. The
Oh,
questions
yes.
she comes up with. But anyway, Dr. Paul, I think, has been in 60-some years or something like that
Yes, yes.
of ministry. So he was a denominational pastor for many years before he founded Acts Ministry. And like I say, he's just a wealth of information. He can talk, if it has anything to do with Christ, he can talk about it.
Oh, and he has it right here in the old head, doesn't he?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he doesn't have to go look in 15 books. He knows it.
Yeah.
He knows it.
And I did a class on grief counseling, and I've received a certificate from some people. I consider her a good friend. She's a very good instructor. She was with Vanderbilt University, and she was a super lady. But anyway, I took some grief counseling courses with her, and it helps me with my hospice work a lot.
I bet, yeah.
You know, so not only with patients but with families. And so I'll be teaching a class on that. Matt Pearson, which you saw earlier, he's going to be doing one on praise and worship and a class on the sacraments, which ought to be really interesting. And then Randy Barr, as you mentioned,
Right?
he's doing God's plan of salvation, and that was really his focus in the TV show that he used to produce a long time ago. So he has, I won't say an unusual way, but a different way of presenting the gospel to people where it hits them at home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you'll get a
And
lot.
that's important.
You'll get a lot from Randy, and he is a dear person, I tell you.
Yes, he is.
Like she said, Dennis is doing a homelessness and drug addiction, and Bruce is doing one on marriage and divorce, which, you know, even in the Christian world, divorce is a big deal.
Yes,
You know,
it is.
and people need to be counseled well before they're married, and so I think that'll be a good course for Bruce to do for us. And that's a 7, like she says. You pick the 6 you want to do, and we'll get you tested and get you a certificate and all of that. Okay.
Well, now, how would I go about, people really like to be basic about this, because this is new. Acts Ministry University is new, and it's going to be very basic courses, because we want pastors who are already with us, because, you might have the love of the Lord, and, you want to talk to people and save them, but all of a sudden, a friend says, my uncle passed away, could you do the funeral? And there you are, you're an Acts minister, and you're asked to do something, and they look at you as a pastor, and you not really sure what to do.
Yeah.
So if they took one of these courses on how to do a funeral, what would they do? They write you and say, I want to take this course that's online, or what?
Well, actually, starting January of next year, 2020, the classes we're offering now are basically ministerial.
Right.
Okay, and they're basically for like licensed ministers, and just to get them going. But come 2020, hopefully in January, we're going to start pastoral roles, and that's whenever we'll get into the duties of a pastor and things of that nature. So that would be more for then, I think.
Right. So that would be for 2020, and they would ask, because we have a registration form, and you'd ask Dr. Hamilton for the registration form, and he would probably give it to you online, and you'd fill it out and tell him what course you want to take. Of course, in 2020, the price will be a little higher, but we're just doing introductory courses right now to get people used to Acts University and kind of a blessing to everybody, because a lot of people expect a certain amount of coursework every year. You might even be working in a dog and cat place, but they want to see that you're working on your college education.
Sure.
Well, this is a very inexpensive way to get some credits that are, authorized in the state of Missouri, and who knows, it might open up something
Sure.
for you.
Sure.
And then they would take, and you would direct them probably to a video, okay, of it, and they would read it, and not read it, say not read, that's terrible, view it, take notes on it. If they had any questions, whoever the instructor is, they would be answering those questions. And then when they felt it was time, and again, you might take a course in January, pay your, $100, and you may not feel like you're ready until May.
Right. That's true.
Okay.
That's true.
So, and we're not rushing it. You know?
No. Well, if I can get personal a minute,
Yes.
I actually went through a long time ago, Axe
A couple
University.
of years.
Yeah, not more than that. But, and so, you know, I know of what it's like to be a busy person. I mean, I was raised in a family, and, you know, I wasn't retired like I am now, but I was raised in a family. Yeah, exactly.
Here we are working.
And you know, I had a full-time job, and my job was very demanding. And so I searched around different places to get instruction, you know.
Yes.
And somebody led me to Dr. Paul. And I made an appointment with him, sat down and talked to him. And the main thing that attracted me to Acts Ministry was the mission statement. And it's unity in Christ through the Holy Spirit. And, you know, that fell right in line with the way I believed. And, you know, and this is a great thing about, this is a great thing about the Acts Ministry is it's trans-denominational, you know. So you have there's a lot of different doctrine out there, and we just work on the common core.
We're going to pick that up as soon as we have our commercial.
That's right. Yes, we are getting ready to have a commercial. Though you can't see my face, you're getting ready to. If I can get it to switch over. Hey, everybody, Matt again here. I'm sure you guys are probably tired of seeing my face here all day long.
No.
But I know they have talked to you about it. This telethon is very important to us. We still have 4 hours and 41 minutes, 52 seconds left of the 12-hour telethon today. Starting at 6 o'clock, we're going to start the talent competition, and then the finals will be tomorrow. Right? Am I correct?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So the finalists from today, well, if my son is one of the finalists, then we'll have to work something out somehow. Anyways, $1 equals one vote. I do have to say I'm super excited. We just got somebody, is it okay if I tell this?
Yes, we're so
Somebody
happy.
just donated $1,000 to the cause. I'm super excited about it. I had to pick my jaw up off the floor whenever I heard it. Had to do a double take. You guys didn't hear that because it was after the show was over, but Dr. Paul was talking to Gene
Bicknell.
And he said, I will go ahead and send you guys a check for $1,000. He's already donated
Praise God.
money. He already sponsored half an hour. So thank you, Gene. We really appreciate it. I know you're not doing it for recognition, but we're giving you recognition anyways. And I tell you what, it's people like that and people like you that'll help keep this ministry going, to help keep us doing the right thing, serving where needed, so we can show people about unity in Christ through the Holy Spirit and about serving where we need to be serving. And our goal is to continue, not only to continue as we're going, but to expand our programming and expand our different programs that we're involved with, like autism awareness and veterans programs. But you can help us out, and that's what we're asking, for you guys to help us out. Every little bit counts. It adds up. You know what they say, a penny saved is a penny earned. Well, $1 saved is $1 earned as far as donating is concerned. So no donations too small, no donations too big, as Dr. Jim Wanning said earlier. So I'm going to let you guys get back to the action at hand and learn more about Acts Ministry University. I'm pretty excited about that too. So back to you guys.
Okay, thank you. And again, we so appreciate this telethon, and it gives us a chance to really announce the opening of Acts Ministry University. Now, we left on a point where you talked about trans-denominational. And I think this is so important for people, because we have a lot of Assembly of God universities in this area. Are we an Assembly of God university?
No.
I know the answer to this. I'm just waiting for him to tell us. Okay.
No, we go across denominational lines.
Back to Gospel.
So if I was Baptist in background and I want to take a course here, is that going to be a conflict for me?
Not at all. Not at all. No,
What if I'm
I
Catholic?
mean, no,
No?
that wouldn't be a
So
problem.
trans-denominational any denomination you may come from, or if you just don't have a denomination. Is that a problem for us?
No, not a problem.
Not a problem.
We're
We
for
are not a
public at
problem.
large.
Okay, so we're open. Are you going to teach only one way to do things in our
No,
courses?
I think knowledge is good. And the more you know about God, I think the more you're going to want to know about God.
Yes, amen. I like this. Okay, so that's kind of our deal. Is that we're not just, this is not a university just for Catholics or Presbyterians or Baptists. It's for all denominations, or even if you are not a denominational person, you just want
You're just
a
seeking.
Christian education and seeking this out for yourself.
Exactly.
That's so. It's not. I mean, you don't see too many universities that are doing that.
Well,
okay.
that was my problem. I felt calling on my life that I needed to have more of a purpose, a godly purpose, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And all I knew was, the gospel,
Mm-hmm.
of Jesus Christ. I didn't know much more than that.
Right.
And my biggest fear was trying to tell people, I didn't want to spread disinformation about, I knew nothing about theology or doctrine or, especially the Old Testament.
Right.
I mean, and there's probably a lot of people out there like me.
Right. Oh
you know?
yes.
Yes.
Oh
You
yes.
know?
Still
Love
growing.
the Lord, but
Yes.
don't have enough expanse in that.
And so that's kind of what we specialize is bringing people up to where they have a very good understanding, and yeah, we'll go into eventually because you have to building blocks.
Building blocks. And
So,
knowledge.
but eventually, we'll get into church history and things of that nature. We'll get into denominations. We'll get into movements, Christian movements, awakenings. That's very important as far as the United States is concerned.
Yes,
that's,
yes.
we're
yes.
all based
We're all
on.
awakening.
Well, that's where we get our freedoms from.
That's right.
You know.
And they're
So-
knock, knock at the door. On some of
Exactly.
those freedoms, yes. And people who are a little on the isolated side. Let's say I was a person who loved the Lord in, say, Boxcar, Missouri, and I wanted to do more. I mean, this is an opportunity for me
Sure.
on YouTube to learn. And I know our instructors, that's one of the requirements, that they are available to talk to you personally if you don't understand something and want further knowledge. And then to take the course and see and check how you're doing and actually get an accredited course for yourself. So that, if you wanted to get a job or, want to be a pastor of a church somewhere or a group, that you'd have that qualifications. And
For
that's
sure.
the gap that we're talking about. We're not talking about you're going to have a PhD in 2 years from
No.
Acts Ministry University. We just want to make that clear. But we are going to educate you and be there for you.
And I do want to stress that our instructors are people that are out doing it.
Yes.
And I think that might make a difference between us and other people like us, other universities, because they're actually out doing the work.
Yeah, hands-on. They're
Hands-on.
hands-on people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think everybody will enjoy our instructors too,
Oh, yes. I mean,
because they're a wealth of experience and knowledge. They really are.
oh, yes. And you may get, 3 answers to your question, and they all could be right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's going to be fantastic. Well, I haven't let this beautiful young lady over here, who loves the Lord. And I know. You are just a recent pastor,
Correct.
and what are you interested in as pertains Acts Ministry University? What are you looking for in this experience?
Well, growth through the Word of God, and just a better understanding of the Lord, and I'm very fascinated. I've been just sitting here and listening and taking it all in because I am actually wanting to sign up.
Right.
And
want
I
you to.
had, I'll share, my mom just passed away, and I did do her funeral. I had no knowledge.
That's
But
what
the
we're talking
only,
about.
yes, and you don't, even though it's family, you want to represent the lost one and the family, and of course the Lord. You
That's
want to
right.
respect all areas, and I was just, I kind of went in, Matthew got me a Bible that on funerals and
Right.
weddings and things like that, and I read and just some different things. But that would be one of the things I would be interested in enrolling in is how to conduct a funeral or even a wedding. Those are very important. Especially just to have that knowledge.
For
so
sure.
those would be some
Celebrations
areas.
or-
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And with you have questions. We minister all the time to wives, husbands and stuff. And I'm partial to Bruce Piercy, my father-in-law. So that might be another area that I'd also be interested in. And once you get those certifications and you're able to go out, and it gives us the opportunity to witness to other people about the university and being able to be a part of X, university.
Sure.
So, and I would like the application that you fill out. Is there any special things that you're looking for? I know we don't have to have any, college credits, but are you looking for any type of education? Do they need to?
Whenever I started, you had to submit. I had secondary college and stuff, so I had to submit transcripts and things of that nature. But I don't know that way we're set up now. I don't know if that's all that necessary. Do you?
No, I do
That
not.
is so easy. See, and that's just
It's best if you have a high school education.
yes.
Or
I wouldn't say,
GED,
yeah,
or
or a
GED
GED,
would
something
be
like
good.
that. And even if you didn't, we'd probably have to visit with you because there might be circumstances that you didn't have that available to you. But basically, I would think a high school education or a GED, and then just kind of. I think Dr. Hamilton probably asked, where are you? What are your inclinations? And if you wanted to be a priest at the end of 6 hours, probably not for us, okay? But if you just wanted to take, you felt the calling, and you wanted to step in, and you wanted to have some credentials, and that's what we're talking about, credentials for yourself that you could show somebody, yes, I could perform a wedding.
Yes.
I'm not going to stumble over and make a few faux pas that could nullify a wedding. I mean, it's not a fun and games thing.
No,
It's that
no.
you need to know
Yes.
what you're doing.
Well,
Yes.
it's a sacrament,
Well, it
Yes.
is, and
Yes.
in the state of
and
Missouri,
so it's holy.
yes, and plus the certifications, the pastor has a responsibility for life to keep copies of funerals,
Yes.
weddings, and that sort of thing. So it's not something we take lightly, and a person just oh yeah, now I'm certified. Okay,
Yep.
There's a lot of responsibility.
Exactly.
And
And not only that, but I mean, you're also baptismals,
oh yeah,
Yeah.
communion,
right.
So there's a lot to know out there.
And in different denominations, different people do different things.
Sure.
And I know our instructors are going to say, well, the Assemblies of God would prefer this method, or the Methodist this, or those who just, believe in the fellowship of Christ, believe in this. And so we'll share that information with you. We're not going to tell you, yet you have to, dunk the baby in the baptismal.
Yes.
You'll make that determination. And then, a lot of that is just the parents, too, how they, and you have to, I mean, it's a give and take kind of thing. There's
Sure.
not a lot of hard and fast. I won't say there's not any, but there are
Right.
not a lot of hard and fast, and we're going to be very open to that.
I think we're trying to pattern it for the 21st century.
Yes.
Tradition is good, but to get people more mobilized, because I do believe we're in the last days here,
Yes.
and to mobilize people, they need to be taught differently, I think.
Right. I would agree with you. And I think a lot of our pastors may feel, or people may feel, they want to be a pastor because they have the calling for the homeless, or they have they've had several people in their family die of drug addiction, and they want extra help on that, counseling,
Sure.
or and that sort of thing. And so we aim to please. So that's what the first 6 or 7 courses, which you can take 6, are basically about. They're not going to be really hard courses. They're each 1 hour of credit, $50 each, and so you'd have, you could have for $300 6 hours of college credit,
Exactly.
which is nice. If you've
Yeah.
ever
Exactly.
grade anybody else, it's a lot more. And plus, we have fun instructors as well. We really do. They're very delightful. I was going to talk about something hit my brain here. Hopefully, I wrote it down. We've kind of told you what the first couple months are going to be like. Now, in the next year, because we want to put out an associate arts degree, which is 60 hours. We probably won't have all of them developed, unless we're just
No,
mad hatters
probably
or
not.
something. Probably maybe 15 to 30 done in a year. They will probably be a little more difficult, but not. I mean, our goal is to get you educated, get you some credentials, because Acts Ministry does look for new pastors. We
Sure.
look for people, but the management of Acts Ministry feels that we sometimes do a disservice giving somebody a license to be a pastor, even though we've talked to them and everything, that we really need and have the responsibility to educate them and to make sure they know different ways of doing things. Because
Sure.
as you said, this is a different world in the 21st century.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we're going to be working on those next 15 to 30 hours next year. I know personally, one that we're interested in doing is one that Acts Ministry doesn't do a lot in, and that's children's church. Myself and another pastor, Pastor Tom Young, has a lot of experience in children's church, and it has changed a lot. And it's a very difficult ministry. It's a very active ministry. It's not like you prepare your sermon and then get up there and everybody, it's boom, boom, boom. Every 5 minutes you're doing something different.
Sure.
So it's for the young and energetic.
Yeah.
But we'll be designing 3 or 4 courses for that. The organization of it, determining what kind of church that you have or ministry that you have that you want to do that. So that will be one that will be kind of interesting. And do you have some others on the back burner that you're thinking about putting on for break time? Oh, he's going to interrupt me, but it's good. It's good interruption.
I'm going to interrupt you again.
It's okay.
See if they'll let me do it. I know it's. There we go. Hey. Hi, everybody. Matt here again. Seems like just 15 minutes ago I was on here. Oh, wait. It has been 15 minutes. That's all right. We got the windows open up here so that everybody outside can smell the beef stroganoff that I cooked on the last show.
Oh,
It smells really good.
ah,
There might be a little
Smell
garlic
come
in it.
down the hall.
yes,
Little onions.
the whole office.
Anyways, so today, this whole entire day is about one thing, and that's Acts Ministry. That's more than one thing. Acts Ministry, Acts Media Group, Acts Television Network. We want to continue to grow not only our audience, but also our programming. So if you're seeing this for the first time, everybody up here is volunteer. Nobody gets paid. We don't go home and buy Rolls Royces and stuff like that. That's not what we're about. This money that you guys donate does not go into our pockets. It goes into operational cost, i.e. rent, internet bill, the typical stuff, things that we need to get by. If some of this equipment breaks down, we have to replace it. So we also want to continue to add to our programming. So we got some programs that are going to be coming up probably in the next month. What's the one with Randy Barr?
God's plan of salvation.
No, I mean the show.
Spirit of America.
Oh.
Spirit of America.
America.
Spirit of America.
That is, I believe we're going to start out, it may be a whole hour, maybe a half hour. We haven't figured it out exactly yet. The logistics is always the funnest part. So, every dollar counts, folks. We are asking you to please help us out. You can call the number right there. 417-597-4821. We have operators standing by that are willing to take your donations over the phone and put it to good use. Everybody up here are good stewards of what people give them and returning it to the kingdom and trying to teach everybody about unity in Christ through the Holy Spirit, trying to teach everybody about autism awareness and veterans awareness. I know you wouldn't think it's weird, veterans awareness. Well, there are a lot of veterans out there that don't think they have anybody to talk to. There's a lot of parents out there with autistic kids that feel like they're alone. I've talked to numerous people, and I've sent them to talk to Jim or Pam because they raised autistic children. So that's part of what we do here. I'm kind of running out of things to say, except we need your help, and we're asking you. I don't want to say begging, but we kind of are. So that's because we really want to continue to do this and continue to do the right thing and serve where needed. And by doing so, you will as well. So back to you guys.
Yeah, I think we left with you talking about.
I got a cheat sheet too. We're going to have to talk to some of our instructors and nail it down. But here's some things I thought about doing, and they may have some ideas too, and students may have something if they want, you know. So I try to be flexible. I really do.
You're very flexible.
But here's some suggestions: Christian ethics, doctrine of conversion, preaching, which is a big one, especially contemporary preaching, the Great Awakening, Roman Road versus Four Spiritual Laws. That would be very interesting. Sanctification, social actions, Bible studies, deliverance, worship, death and dying, New Testament word stories, Reformed theology, church planning, evangelism, revival, salvation, different types of sins, spiritual gifts, Bible teachings, prayer and fasting, grief, which we already did cover, but we could get it advanced in that too, counseling the ill, and just dissertations on how to present a dissertation. That would be interesting.
Wow,
You'd
yeah.
probably be really good at that.
A little bit here, yes, absolutely. Wow, that is a full couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of
I
testing.
plan on doing this for a while.
Yes, I am too. I'm excited about it. It did pop into my brain that as we're talking about this, we probably have a lot of talent out in Springfield, Kansas City, and that area that feel like they are very knowledgeable and really want to share. And so are you open for new instructors?
Sure, we can always use good
I
instructors.
mean, you aren't just going to walk in and say, hey, I'm here, you know, but talking to Dr. Hamilton and Dr. Collins and myself and see what you have to bring to the table. And we're not judging value or anything like that, but if we aren't covering that, and that's something that is needed to be covered, we would certainly be open. We are not in the same vein, but Acts Ministry, because it is such a great ministry with certification in 50 states plus many countries, and I'm going to tell you, there's not a whole lot of pastors out there that have those credentials. And we're very proud of them. But if you are also interested in becoming an Acts Ministry pastor, you'd probably need to talk to Bishop Jim Whining and Dr. Paul Collins and Dr. Hamilton about that, and myself, whether you'd like to maybe become a minister.
Sure.
And we are open to that because we feel like we need to, as we're in unity, we need to be in unity with all the different kinds of pastors. And we really enjoy having pastors from all over be on our board, be a part of our Acts Ministry family, and of course, what we're talking about today, Acts Ministry University. So we welcome with open arms if you're interested, and any of us, you know, it could be a contact, and then a group of people, not just one, would be making that decision. But we are very open. If your heart is in the right place, our heart will meet you.
Sure.
Absolutely on that. So just keep that in mind. You've given us a lot of ideas on new courses for Acts Ministry University, and it's going to take some time. I noticed we haven't talked about books. We've talked about some of the first 6, 7 are just going to be basically video YouTube and then a test. And but in the 2020, we may have still some like that, but some you may have a reference book. Is that correct? Could you talk about that a little bit?
We've been talking to the instructors, and we're hoping maybe we could order them off Amazon because they're a lot
Amazon's great.
because they're a lot cheaper, and hopefully we could get a group of them instead of trying to buy them separately. That's something we wanted to work out. There are millions of books out there.
Yeah. Yes, we know that. Yes.
And and so,
Most of them aren't worth anything.
but because we are
didn't hear that.
trans-denominational, and I don't have a problem with presenting other denominations, but we're not here to tell you you need to do this or that. We leave that up to you, you
That's
know.
right.
But we want to give you as much knowledge so that you make an informed decision.
I know we're all trying to get, I guess the world is trying to get away from books, and we have our Chromebooks and our computers. But as Marcia said, excuse me, you were, when we had the funeral, you were kind of looking for something, a
Yeah.
book to kind of go by and put in your hand. There's something about the hand. You could have used, it could have been a Chromebook or something like that, but you need probably something like that.
Sure.
And we're not going to, well, I think Dr. Hamilton's saying, and Marcia is saying too, is that we're not going to require, $200 worth of books
No.
for your courses.
Some of
but-
these books are real expensive.
Oh, yes, most of them are. But we are going to probably reference some, I would say maybe 5 or 6 different books during a year that probably have not just one piece of coursework in it, but have several. So we are understanding that not everybody wants to build a library with Acts Ministry University, but you want to at least have some references.
Yeah.
I know whenever I went through, I used Wilmington's, and he was a professor for, what's that university?
Follow.
Yeah, Falwell's University down there. Can't come up with a name right now. But anyway, but it served like 4 classes
Right, that's
because it's Old Testament survey, New Testament survey, and some other things, and that helps if you just have to buy one book for 4 classes. That's a good deal,
right. And so that we want to be,
And if students are looking for books on certain subjects, I can try and help them find some as well. Apart from textbooks.
that was our book expert, Dennis Everson, who he has lots and lots of books, and he's very generous with sharing his books. But he sells them on Amazon, I believe, too. But he's great on that. And so if you did take it, I don't want to scare anybody off and say, well, it's going to be tough enough about paying for
Right.
the tuition. What about the books? We'd certainly probably try to work it out
Sure,
with you. And,
sure. And if a person takes good notes,
oh,
know,
talk
that-
about note
that-
taker. This guy is a note taker. This guy is basically a good note taker.
but if you take good notes, you may not even need
Right.
a textbook.
Need a book. That's right.
I'm kind of old school. We've been actually talking about that in our house and teaching the girls to bring their Bibles and kind of steer away from the getting on their phone and pulling up their Bible app. And the book that Matthew ordered was actually a Bible, but it was a minister's Bible.
Right.
And that was just such a blessing. And my Bible has a lot of references down at the bottom, so I'm just a big reader, and I like to be able
Sure.
to have that in my
Sure.
head. But that's a preference of me, and everybody's a little different.
That's right.
Technology has grown over the years, but I'm
Oh.
still old school, like to have my Bible
Exactly.
with me.
Me too. I've got a whole library.
And,
Go ahead.
and our pastor, he uses the Nook, and then I've been to other churches where pastors have actually have the Bible book in their hands.
It's
And
like you said, it's your own preference.
Yes, yes.
Well, a good library is good for reference,
Oh,
Yes.
because you're going 10 years down the line, you're going to say, I remember something about that, and I know where that, I can almost point to it in the book where it is because it's in my
Physical.
mind.
Yeah.
Physical.
Yeah.
There's pathways there.
Well, and I'm an educator, my history is, and where the Nook or the Chromebook, you don't get that hands-on, that texture feeling. In the book, you can touch it and talk about it
Yes.
and that sort of thing. And So it's a little bit different. I think they're finding, because a lot of schools wanted to get rid of books for a long time, because it's so expensive. A lot of their budget, public schools went to books. Now they went to the Chromebooks, which is a big chunk. But they could keep up faster because the books would be out of date in 4
Sure.
years and whatever. But I think they're finding out that there's a certain amount of things that students do better if they have books.
Yes.
And the same thing with, note taking, you just type it out. They're finding now that if you are teaching, whether it's cursive or manuscript, by physically writing it, you retain it better
Sure.
than if you just type it out. So,
Sure.
there's old school, new school.
Yes.
You have to
We're
find out.
diverse.
Yes,
Yes.
we're diverse and we're accepting. We don't,
Yes. We take.
It's
Yeah.
probably better than the scrolls.
Yes. Carry around scroll. Yes, absolutely. It is better. So, Marty, if I completed a course, let's say on funerals, and I contacted you, what would I do?
As far, just fill out paperwork and
Okay.
and
Come here?
pardon me.
Would I come here for my test?
That's the way we're setting it up this
Right.
first time for sure.
Right.
We are working on a different website for just a university, aren't we?
We are.
So I'm hoping that maybe we can.
Get with that.
Yeah.
But now some of the tests, we've talked about this.
Mhm.
Some of the tests will be, paragraphs. Some of the tests will be, short answer, maybe a small essay.
Mhm.
And some of them might be oral.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Just like they do in doctorate degrees, some of them may be oral.
That's true.
And like I think I talked about earlier, you may just, show me how you would start with a funeral, hands-on. And it's not to not pass somebody. It's to say, okay, that's really good, but,
Tweak them.
yeah, tweak it so that when they leave, we feel comfortable and they feel comfortable that they can perform a funeral.
Exactly.
You know,
And we
you
keep
know.
working with them until they can.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, we're not here to flunk people.
No, we're here to
Activate
encourage-
people.
Yes. Get them out there. That's the whole purpose. That is the whole purpose here. So I kind of think that kind of gives you an idea. It's going to be very easy. Is the registration online, or do they need to contact you?
I can give them my email.
Okay, you want to give them an email right
Yeah,
here?
it's Marty Hamilton, 585 @gmail.
Okay. Say that one more time again.
Marty Hamilton, 585 @gmail.
It's MARTI.
Why?
Why? Okay. So see, I knew it. Probably goofed up on that. I read your name MARTI. So sorry about that.
That's okay. I answered it. I answered
It's your
anything.
confessions right there. Now, so you got the email. You need to email him. Let him know, and we'll post November 1st what these 7 courses are, and you can sign up. Can they sign up for all 6 right off the bat?
Sure.
Sure. Okay. And the only one you can't take. You have to decide which one. Those 7.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us
Okay.
which one you don't want to.
And you
do
can
this
take
time.
them all, whip them out.
And you can take it next time you want to.
That's right. That's right. So don't forget, November 1st, mark it on your calendar, your Google calendar, of course, and that you want to check in with Dr. Hamilton and see what courses there are, and he'll direct you to the courses. You have to fill out a one-sheet registration with your name, address, telephone number, a little bit about your background, and then we'll get you going.
Sure.
Okay? And you'll
Be glad to.
Be glad to. Now, Marcia, you've like being a young pastor, and what we're looking for is more young pastors like
Yes.
yourself, people who desire to get into the ministry field. We're not saying which way, church or youth or whatever. Can you give us a little background about yourself, or what made you? I mean, you took that step recently, wanting to being a pastor.
Correct. My journey started back in 2014. I am a recovering sex addict. The Lord just came in and just touched my life, just huge. I had attended Farm Fest, and at the Farm Fest, we was walking around, and I met another organization that did equine therapy.
Oh.
And so I began and I visited with them, and they shared with me of where I could go to become certified. I shared that I had a vision that God had given me about doing equine therapy with women who had suffered from addiction, abuse, and just human trafficking.
Yeah. Oh.
And so in 2014, I went to Corinthians, Texas, and got my certification to do equine therapy. Little did I know when I came back that the Lord had a lot of things for me, healing, get my foundation in Him to be able to minister and to disciple women who are broken and struggling with addiction. 2017, we opened our first home. We currently house 8 women right now that suffer from addiction.
Praise God.
And so we're believing for more homes. We're looking to open a home for moms and children where they can actually be housed together. The Lord just really put in my heart discipleship. And I just felt on my heart that I wanted to get licensed. And not so much, if I had someone that would approach me for a wedding or a funeral, I would be willing to do that, but just more just in the position and the vision that the Lord had given me through my ministry. And it's been a blessing. We've just the things that we're seeing has changed. People, when you're physically in that darkness, and these women, when they come to you, they're so broken. I've had women come that never stepped foot in a church. Where I've had women that come in our program, they're atheists, that they're just angry at God. So we plant those seeds. We just love on them, build that structure, teach them what a Bible is. A lot of them never picked up a Bible in their life. They've all heard that people talk about it, talk about God, but they've never been shown. We've handed out scripture, and someone will say, "Well, what's Luke?" And I mean, yes, yeah.
Sure.
What's Luke? Who's Luke? And you need that foundation of. I need to know who Luke was in the Bible, and so for me, the Lord knew as a growing Christian, He knew that there would be ladies come along, and I believe that we're all grow in our foundation with the Lord, and I'm looking forward to be a part of Acts University and getting more knowledge, get more certifications, so I can be a better leader, a godly woman, and be able to disciple other women correctly.
Sure.
So I'm
Big
really
responsibility,
it
Marsha.
is
Big
it is.
responsibility. You're in some big boots.
Yes, we with the overdose, the it's just really bad right now, and so we have a lot of people calling, and so we've got to, they may be grieving. We've got to be able to handle and walk through those processes, and so I believe that we go through things. We are challenged ourselves to be able to handle things. Went through the loss of my mom and grieving that, but I'm able to witness to one of the ladies in the house about that and stay strong because she lost her mom. So the Lord He does not waste anything. He doesn't waste seeds. He doesn't waste a bit. He uses every bit, every piece of brokenness, and
Exactly.
so I'm just really, and something for us as a program. This might be an opportunity to involve our women into open up doors for them to get certifications, to grow in knowledge through Acts University. So we're looking to be a part of that as a program, a ministry, and a whole, and open this to our home to the women come through our program. So really excited.
Thank you, Marsha.
Thank you. Yes.
Well, everybody, it is time for us to get out of here.
Aw,
We are going to take an hour break
okay.
to set up for the talent show. We were going to have Billy Burris on, but we got to go get a sustain pedal for those of you piano players that know that. Let me go ahead and wipe on over here. So far, so good. We've got 4 hours and 4 minutes and 13 seconds left of the 12-hour live stream telethon. Okay, we are getting ready to take a 1 hour break because we got to set up for we get to set up for the talent show, and that is going to take a little bit of doing. So continue to, as you can see, we're up to $4,000 now.
Yay.
Wow.
Raised
All
Praise
right.
God.
today.
Great.
Uh,
Ooh, woo, 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 woo.
And we want that by the end of tomorrow to be completely full to the tippy top, and then some.
Absolutely.
So we're really excited about this. I say that a lot because I really am. But for right now, we're going to take ourselves a quick 1 hour break. I mean, you can't speed up time, obviously. But I'm going to go to the store and pick up a sustain pedal for the keyboard, and then set up some guitars and some microphones, and come back for some praise and worship.
Okay.
That's
Amen.
what it boils down to, really, right?
Yes.
Praise and worship.
That's right.
Because we need to worship Him with everything we do, everything we say, and everything we think. Like my sister-in-law over there says, we got to hold our thoughts captive.
Yes.
So, anyways, there's somebody behind me. I'd like to thank Dennis back here as well. So we're going to go ahead and get on out of here. We love you guys, and we'll see you here in an hour, okay?
Okay. Super good.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
Great
you
job.
for having me on.
Oh,
Yes.
great.